So growing up, right, I used to be a very angry kid. I used to be very frustrated all of the time, and things used to go wrong the more frustrated and angry I was. And I used to beat myself up, literally. I used to remember punching myself in the leg or punching myself in the face because I used to hate the fact that nothing ever went right, and I used to punish myself. And I realized that people need to control anger, not just like physically lashing out, but just the building up of rage inside you. Because when you get this build up of anger inside, you get this high level of cortisol, which is stress, and it starts to erode like your arteries and your veins. And then if you have a shitty diet, then all the fat will stick to it because you've eroded your walls, and you're more likely to have a heart attack and heart disease, which is why stress often leads to heart disease because of the vicious cycle. And learning to control your anger and therefore cortisol levels is crucial for living a happy, peaceful, relaxing life.
Absolutely. Yes, and meditation is fantastic for helping you work through said anger and any other lower vibrations you may have. Just a simple 3-minute meditation a day will be life changing as far as one, you won't have all the racing thoughts you're used to having, all the anxiety you're used to having, and you'll clear that channel so that you can actually communicate with your spirit guides who want to communicate with you, but you have to be an open vessel for that. And meditation helps you clear your mind to be able to do that, to really take the next level in your spiritual journey, as well as work through any traumas that you've went through in this life.
Yeah, every time I have a shower, I always play 528 hertz binaural beats. So it's just the pure tone of. Oh no, hang on, that's 493 hertz. It's that's it. That's the perfect note. And when I'm in the shower, it's going into the water. The water is vibrating at that frequency. It's been absorbed into my head, into my body. Not only that, I'm hearing the vibration. It's hitting my eardrum. My eardrum is becoming a vibration of 528, which means my brain is becoming a 528 vibration because it's connected to my eardrum. And my brain's connected to the rest of my body via the nerves, which means my whole body and my whole muscles are vibrating at 528, which is the frequency of the earth, right? For healing. So
Absolutely.
I put that on in the shower, and naturally my thoughts stop. Naturally, I just become so still. Naturally, I just become in vibration with this noise. Now, it seems crazy. My mum just says turn off that
No.
buzz. But when I put that vibration on, amazing stuff happens. I just go into like this. I can't even explain it. I'm just in the moment. I'm in the zone. I'm quiet. I'm peaceful. I'm focused. I know what I have to do. I can't even explain the power of that buzz. It is phenomenal.
It really is. Yes, absolutely. I completely agree. I listen to a lot of different frequencies. 528 is one of my personal favorite frequencies for anything, for healing, for aligning your chakras. Literally, it's just such a very powerful healing frequency. Definitely, if I had to say out of all the frequencies, that would be the one that I would say that everyone needs to listen to at least a little bit every day before or after meditation, just at some point to really cleanse that energy,
Yeah,
because you
like
don't realize how stagnant it can become.
yeah, like everything in your body is water, so your body will start
Mm-hmm.
to vibrate at that frequency. But not only that, hearing it at the same time as your body vibrating at it is like a conscious and a subconscious power. Like it's two different things. Like having it in your earphones, for example, is gonna, as I said, vibrate in your eardrum, vibrate your brain, vibrate you down below. But having that vibration on the outside, like vibrating, like if you had a wine glass in that room, that will start to vibrate. As your
Mm-hmm.
If you put it outside of your earphone, for example, your body will vibrate it. So you've got the power of the vibration on the outside and what it's doing to your brain on the inside. And it starts your day off phenomenal. I'm so calm when I come out. I'm
Yes.
folding the towel on the railing perfectly. I'm in alignment, standing in the shower with my feet close together like a ballerina, for posture. I'm doing my teeth. I'm focused. I'm still. It literally is a secret weapon. Like um, countries, as you know, like music is supposed to vibrate at a certain frequency, and years ago, they changed the frequency slightly off to control the mass of people. And so we're all listening to like the wrong frequency, which is why we're all like all depressed and angry all the time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Simply just like having that vibration versus just my own thoughts on a certain vibration is the difference between me starting my day on a negative mood based on the things I'm thinking about, or starting my day on simply no thoughts with this 528 vibration. It's interesting because it's like if I'm not thinking about stuff on the 528 vibration, my brain won't be thinking of anything. And it's like it only allows me to think about stuff on that frequency because that is what my body's vibrating at. And the thoughts won't align if it's not in harmony with positive things. It's incredible.
I love that you bring that up because truly it's like there has actually been, because of, dark entities, there has been like a radio tower transmitting nothing but low frequencies, and has been for lifetimes after lifetimes. This has been going on for a long, long, long times, not just now, and it truly has been set to the super low frequency. And when you take the initiative to consciously change that frequency to one of a healing, loving, high vibration, it completely impacts your life. It shuts off the old frequency of that. It's kind of like, how do I put it? Like that's the default. That's your default frequency if you don't know how to tap into a higher frequency. So it's like everything becomes, see, look, there's my guides with the wind confirming. Love it. But it's definitely, you have to make the conscious choice. Everything is a choice. You have to want soul growth. You have to want to better your life. You have to want to achieve great things. You have to want to have an abundant mindset, even if you don't have abundance or money or love in your life at this current moment. It's about acting as if you're already wealthy and successful, as if you're already have found the love of your life, as if you've already completely awakened spiritually, even though a lot of us, haven't yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying act fake. I'm just saying simply act as if you already done it, and it will help you to manifest it, because that's part of manifesting, is believing in it.
Yeah, that takes me into the thing about quantum jumping. So quantum jumping is where we are a vibration right now, but our vibration can keep increasing based on how happy we are and how focused we are and how in harmony we are with the things that we want. So by believing that you've got this big house and a perfect boyfriend and a car and a family and a little dog, whatever, makes you feel something. That feeling can be recorded as a vibration. So when you go in your mindset and you think about that, your body goes to a feeling of happiness, and then you go back to your shitty life, so your energy goes down again. So most people, they just vision it, they want that, and then they stay in their pattern and don't do anything to get to that pattern. And quantum jumping is where you take the action to ride up those vibrations to get to there. So you find your dog, you find your house, you find your perfect boyfriend, and you find your car. That's quantum jumping. So everything you want is out there. You just have to take action to get there physically, because spiritually it's just a feeling. So everyone has the vibration of their perfect life. They just have to take the action to get there. Having like a glass, 2 glasses, 1 glass of water. You say to that glass, this is the glass of my family, my dog, and my car and my house, and you get the other water, other cup, and then you pour that water into that glass of water, and then you drink it. So now all that vibration and those thoughts, because water records memory, of course, all those thoughts are now in your body becomes that thoughts and frequency in the car and the kids and the happy dog and whatever. And then you just have to take action. But I've been using this my whole life. Like, I knew I was going to have, I've never had a girlfriend growing up. I'm 28. I found the one finally. I knew she'd be exactly the same as me. 28 years later, I find the one who's exactly the same as me. Like, I knew this existed, and I just had to keep going and taking action to better myself until I found this person who is exactly the same as me.
Absolutely. And I love that you actually speak on the water, because like you said, as you know, water is consciousness and it holds memory. Well, also you can manifest, like set intentions, like you said, set intentions on this water to make, it's people call it kitchen witches, is like making everything sacred, making everything into a spell, into a ritual, so that you can better your life. And that's actually one of the things that has been most powerful in my awakening, is literally taking everything I do and setting the intentions. It brings me to higher levels of consciousness, higher vibration, deep healing, protection, whatever it is that I'm wanting, at that time. And man, it really has made a major difference to be able to see those manifestations come to life, because I'm about to move to Colorado now, which is something I manifested. I'm about to get, my job is finally really taking off. My business is really taking off now. So I'm super happy about that. That's something I've manifested. And all of this, I started with no money. I started with no, experience or anything. I just simply had me and my spiritual awakening. And through that, I've unlocked so many soul gifts that I didn't even know I had, including reading tarot, mediumship, and a lot of other spiritual gifts that I haven't even tapped into yet. And I have a few more than that. I'm beginning to tap into Reiki. I literally saved someone's life not too long ago with Reiki. It was my sister's boyfriend. It was an incredible experience. It kind of taps me into, okay, so I'm gonna explain to you this story because it's a pretty powerful story. But then after this, I'm gonna explain to you a little bit on something that my guides really want me to talk on, because a lot of people it's happening to and they either don't realize it or it's happening to them and they don't know how to overcome it. And that is black magic, which is absolutely not only real, but it's happening to a lot of us, especially the twin flames, because the karmics of the twin flames are dark beings, or they're beings who are taken over by dark entities to do their bidding, essentially. The bad ones, you know what I mean? The ones that are like, that kind of remind you of the evil queen from Snow White, you know what I mean? Doing black magic, trying to run people's lives. Yeah, I had one of those. It's been horrible, but I've overcome it. And that's something that I know a lot of people will be able to do once they have certain little tricks to be able to do that, because there's a lot of things people don't realize you can do to reverse that magic and to do things to heal yourself and protect yourself, so this is not affecting your life and ruining it in every way possible, which is what was happening to me for so long. So first we'll go to the story. So me and my sister have always been real close. Well, we both moved back home recently while I was getting ready to move to Colorado. We were going to. And she has this boyfriend she's been with for a while. Well, he trying to think of how not to give the long version here. But basically, my ex, whose little niece was dabbling around with a Ouija board, invited in an evil spirit, and we didn't really realize it. I knew something was up, but I didn't realize the extent of it until it was too late. And I ended up breaking up with my ex because he was doing a lot of horrible things, and now I know why. And well, he brought the night that this all went down, he came over and he shook the hand of my sister's boyfriend. Well, they were having a fight, so he was in a low vibration, which made it a negative entity able to attach to him, okay? And like it was a bad fight, so it was like a really low vibration. You have to be able to have an entity attached to you, you have to be in a really low vibration. Either like a huge fight had to break out, or you're just a genuinely depressed person kind of thing. So nobody knew what happened for a while. Well, he ended up going into like a comatose state and started to have a heart attack, and they called the ambulance and everything. And I went over there and started doing Reiki on him, which is energy healing for anyone who doesn't know. And I literally did what was called an extraction, and I didn't know what that was at the time, where I literally extracted this entity from him and healed him, because his heart was beating so fast and his pulse was going so fast, and he was barely breathing. And as I'm doing this Reiki, you can feel him come back to life. And it was so powerful, so incredible. Afterwards, he came out of it in the ambulance. He went to the hospital and everything. Once he finally woke up, he was like, you saved my life. He's like, I could feel you. He said, I could feel me being dragged down in the darkness, and you were pulling me back up with your energy. He said, I know you saved my life. And I said, you know what? I talked to my spirit guides, and they said, yeah, I did save your life. And that's when I really stepped into the path of a healer, more than just a teacher. And I'm going to be opening a Reiki practice and becoming a Reiki master now, so that I can help so many more people. And I understand that I'm not going to be saving lives every day, but there's a lot of smaller things like healing traumas and things that most people wouldn't be able to get through on their own, that I've already been able to help people with, and can't wait till I can continue to really expand my work to where I can help way, way, way more souls than I ever have before.
That's the thing, right? In life, all we have is you finished?
Oh, go ahead. I'll talk on the
in life, right? All that we can control is how we feel, right? Because how we feel is based on things that we have chosen to do, or things that we are going to do and are doing now. That's the only thing we can control, how we feel, because then we can take action to feel more of it or get ourselves out of it. We can't control death.
Absolutely.
That is the ultimate thing that's going to happen, right? So put aside everything. You can control how you feel and what you do right now. Is it going to do something that makes you feel better or worse? Once you do that, you realize that the only thing we have in life is feeling, and we serve humans to get that feeling. you serve your family, you serve strangers, you serve friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize that it's not anything to do with your family, your friends, or a stranger, because the feeling is the same. Helping a random stranger, saving that person's life, is the same feeling
Yeah.
as, I don't know, saving a parent's life. It's just that feeling of doing the most that you can do and getting the gratitude of, oh my God, you saved my life. I am so grateful back. You're getting a massive charge of positive energy back. And your body is addicted to positive energy because it's what the whole universe is made of. If the Earth's crust is vibrating at, say, 528, all the plants, all the trees, and all the animals are, and yet all man is depressed and unhappy, stuck in an office all day with a negative boss, negative parents, playing Xbox, sitting under by TVs and Wi-Fi, you're going to be vibrating at the wrong frequency, so you're going to feel
Mm-hmm.
shit, and that becomes your default vibration, and you go and do things on that same vibration. So hanging around more negative people, hanging around more TVs and lights and fucking shit. And as you said, when you're on a negative vibration,
Your
bad
vibe attracts your
energies,
tribe.
bad spirits can come in. You're attracting more
Mm-hmm.
of the bad energy, whether you call it God, spirit guide, or just pure science that like attracts like. You
Yeah.
now invite
Mm-hmm.
yourself to
Absolutely.
more of that energy, and you don't take action because that's all you're used to seeing, because that's what you're made up of. And so these problems just keep occurring. But the Earth is made of 528, which is a pure vibration of positive energy. So when you raise to that level, you now are above in vibration of everyone around you, and you can do things like saving that life because he's a negative energy. You're a strong, positive, powerful energy. All you got to do is put your
Mm-hmm.
hands on him, and his body and his cells will start to vibrate at that frequency. Like if you hit a triangle in a school, all the other triangles will vibrate at that same frequency. If you have a wine
Absolutely.
glass and you rub it round the rim, and it goes doo, all the other wine glasses will start to vibrate too. And it has to be
Mm-hmm.
the same vibration. They won't vibrate at a different vibration. They'll vibrate at that vibration. So what does that say? It says that the vibration around us is affecting us, and we are affecting everyone else around us. Hence why the binaural beats are so powerful, because you just hear this
Yes.
noise, you think it's just a fucking noise. But when you understand that our body's supposed to be vibrating at that frequency, like the wine glass will start to vibrate when the other one's vibrating at that frequency,
Mm-hmm.
you realize, wow, that vibration I'm hearing off my phone on YouTube is vibrating my cells. And what happens when my cells vibrate at that frequency? They stimulate, they come alive, the blood starts flowing, everything kick starts again. It's like having a dead car that's just been sat in the garage for 5 years. It's dead, and you just got to get it started. And it goes,
Absolutely.
and all of a sudden, it's back to life. And as you said, you helped your ex-boyfriend never come back to life because his body was in such a negative frequency that his body didn't have the correct current of frequency, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you gave him that current, and you charged his body back up to the level it was supposed to be at, and ultimately, saved his life. It's a real thing.
And you know what's beautiful? It was actually my sister's boyfriend, and the thing was, is they just bought a brand new car, and he bought her a bunch of roses, and all these incredible things was happening to her. He was buying her perfume and all these things, and for 2 seconds, I was jealous. Okay, because like humans, we still do get jealous. I was like, I wanted to be like, where's mine? This, that, and immediately I shifted. This is the most powerful thing I've ever done in my life. I shifted that jealousy and said, no, I will not be jealous. I will be happy for them no matter what. Mine will come in perfect divine timing. And if I am jealous for them, all it's going to do is manifest more delays, anyways. So why would I be jealous? Well, I'll tell you why it's such a powerful shift. My spirit guides told me if I had been jealous or envious of their relationship, I would not have had the power to save him. So it shows, like, at a deep level, how much true unconditional love for other people is what is the real healer. It's not we are the vessel, but it's that true unconditional love that is that primal energy, that is that life force, that is that pure healing power, those miracles. The
Yeah,
same that healing power Jesus had is the same power we have. We just don't know how to tap into that because we are Christ consciousness. And a lot of people don't realize that. They think, oh, no, I can't be that special, or, I'm not good enough because I've done this, this, and this wrong. Well, yes, we all make mistakes, but we also can overcome them. And I mean, being someone who's had many mistakes of my own, I mean, like I said, we all have. I'm living proof that it is possible to overcome anything. And for anyone who knows me, I have been through hell and back. My dad's in prison for life for abusing me in every way possible. My first son passed away when he was 2 weeks old. I've got divorced. Things got crazy. I was homeless for a while. I literally I took a job taking care of a disabled woman, walking her back and forth to the bathroom because she had muscular dystrophy, just so that I'd have a close enough job to walk to work to get a new car because my car got stolen. So it was just like, it was one thing after another. And there was a whole lot of more other things I'm just not going to get into. But my point is, if you can overcome everything, and no, you don't have to do it with a smile on your face, but just do it with that real true warrior spirit, saying nothing can get me down. Nothing will win, because I am a warrior. We all are at the deepest level. We are warriors. And a lot of us have not been able to tap into that. And that is why I am here to change things for people. I am here to wake people up to who they are as a spiritual being. I'm here to wake people up to who they are as a spiritual badass that they've always known they were, but have been told that they weren't, and that they couldn't believe it because they couldn't believe in themselves. You can't believe in yourself if everyone else is telling you you're worthless. It's almost impossible. You'd have to be so dedicated and focused and know who you are, and very few people actually do. So they let their environment, which is huge on your vibration. Environment is key in vibration. That's something I learned. I mean, I went vegan, so I understood, food was very important in vibration. I understood that, relationships, cutting off the people who are no longer serving you and draining your energy, of course, calling back soul pieces, lots of different shamanic journeys I've taken to really heal. But the main thing is your environment, because if you're constantly surrounded by negative people, you're just going to be in this cloud of negativity. And I've managed to raise my vibration through it. But once I move very soon to Colorado, it's going to be like a veil lifted over, from over my face, because it's going to be so powerful how the energy shifts, just changing my environment to something much more positive and healthy.
Yeah, it's this is the thing, right? There's people who they kind of get enlightened and they start to go down this journey, and then they revert back, and then they say, oh, everyone's against me, the universe is against me, God's against me, and the pattern relapses. And it's like, you have to keep going. You can't ever stop. If you stay still, the environment catches up. It's not just, okay, I'll move to Colorado and everything's fantastic. No, because changes will happen in Colorado, and the energies change, the neighbors change, and the new neighbors come in, and so everything changes. So you have to then move elsewhere, but you have to keep going along that journey. Yes, for example, people are kind of doomed from day one, right? Their circumstances mean that they're going to be here, which is going to be harder to get there, right? They're kind of deeper in hell than you are, for example. Everyone can still get out of hell, make it to heaven, right? But the deeper in hell you are, the harder it will be to get out. So that is just the fact, right? That's why a lot of people they never really make it. But if you keep making it, if you keep removing friends, if you keep moving places, like even if it's at the 9th time you've moved house, people think you're fucking crazy. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm trying to find my perfect vibration. What the fuck does that mean? Well, I'm a 5 GHz frequency, and Colorado was 9.9. The one before was 8.7. One before was 7.3. So I'm going up on the vibration scale.
Right, yeah.
Supposed to do. You have to keep moving up and moving towards harmony, things that make you feel good, your tribe. For example, every town has different types of people. There's, say, positive people in LA, negative people in, say, I don't know, Colorado, and really smart people in Texas, and really depressed people in somewhere else, Ohio, for example. You are a vibration. You have to find your equal vibration in the people, right? Because everyone's has been brought up from a different vibration, different frequency. They watch different TV. And so they are a different vibration, and you have to keep moving until you find your tribe. Like, your vibe is your tribe. And you might get to Colorado and you might be like, man, this vibe is awful. Like, they're just so negative, and you have to move again. Or you might be like, this is it. This is it. This is fucking amazing. You've got the ocean, you've got the trees, you've got everyone's giving you food, everyone's loving, there's music, and you might be like, this is my tribe. But people have to keep like moving forward. Like even me, I am so enlightened, and I've said goodbye to friends, and I've got my life perfectly, and I go on walks, and I eat the great food. I'm a set 528 frequency, but if I don't
Absolutely.
keep growing, the vibrations will change around me. New
Mhm.
people move into my street, new stuff on TV. My parents will start seeing stuff, and work will get them down, which will affect me. I have to keep growing and raising my
Mhm.
vibration because the environment will bring it down again. It's not just okay, you're enlightened and that's it. It is a continuous journey of enlightenment. Like the universe keeps spinning, the sun keeps getting hotter. You keep going. Otherwise, otherwise the environment will take over. Like if you don't weed your garden, that tree will just keep growing and growing.
Right, absolutely. And interesting enough, you have you ever heard of Sedona, Arizona, right? Shirley.
No.
It's a very spiritual community in Sedona. And my actual plan is to go to Colorado. I'm going to go to the Massage Therapy Institute there in Denver. And I'm going to get licensed as a massage therapist and then go to work in Las Vegas at Massage Envy and stay with a friend of mine there and get nice and established. And then I plan on opening my Reiki, massage, tarot, and metaphysical shop in Sedona, Arizona. That is actually my plan at this point. And I'm actually working on creating a couple of different tarot decks and oracle decks as well at this time. Also, I'm writing a couple of books. So this is very powerful time in my life. I'm super excited. Things are just now getting going fully now. I've had to overcome some things, but once I went through many dark night of the souls and have overcome them all, passed all the tests of the universe with flying colors.
That's the
I'm
thing,
really
right?
starting to. Oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
sorry. I believe that if somebody is in a deep negative vibration because of family and whatever, it is hard to sort of motivate yourself enough to then take action and like literally start over again. And most
Mm-hmm.
people, like they need their friends, so they can't get rid of them. Like they need their family because they have to have the house. They can't get rid of them either. It is hard. So the only way out is the knowledge. How do you get that knowledge? Go online, go on YouTube. You can have access to people like
Go
you and me
within.
teaching people along the journey of worse
Oh yeah,
stories, they were in worse places, and it just shows you that people have been in a worse place and they got out simply by trusting the process, whether it was trusting God, trusting spirit guides, trusting someone else's story, that if they take these actions, say goodbye to their friends, save up money, move out, and just trust that it will be okay, they will find where they are supposed to be. And once you kind of get out
absolutely.
of that negative vibration of family members saying you can't do that, them so stupid, get a normal job, can you just be normal? That is so negative on the soul here and all that nonsense. You got to
Oh
get out,
yeah,
you will feel
destructive.
so good. And then just by like giving random money to a random person in the street, like a homeless person, or buying some person's food in the grocery store, that
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel so good. That will raise your vibration, and you'll start to feel so good. You're going to want to do more of that, and you'll feel so good all the time that you won't want to be around anything that makes you feel less. So you've got yourself to a very high, amazing feeling compared to, say, an abusive drug, alcohol, depressive,
Mm-hmm.
argumentative family somewhere else. But you got to understand, if I stay there, I'm going to become them and go to hell like they are going through now, or I get out and find heaven. You know, because if you can't change the past and change your family's past, you got to make a decision. Do I stay there and sink with them on the iceberg, or do I jump onto a new one? And then you realize, okay,
Absolutely.
two options: sink or jump. It's 50-50. I might drown, but if I don't jump, I'm going to sink anyway.
Absolutely. So many people are afraid of tower moments, of death moments, where because after death is rebirth, after the tower is the star card, which is rebirth, renewal, spiritual awakening. People don't realize that those things that are those hard moments in life where they have to leave people or things behind that they love, those are pushing them to their destiny. And it's only when you really release control and surrender to the divine and allow your guides and allow spirit to take, to let the divine plan unfold, will you stop having your fate and you will start chasing your destiny. Because things are fated, yes, but destiny is a whole nother deal. That's when you step in and take action, just as we discussed before. That's when you take control of the reins and say, I'm going to make my destiny what I want. Yes, there's a plan, this and this are going to happen. That's great, but I get to choose how it's going to happen. and I get to make it happen quicker than it would have if I had allowed fate to do it. You know what I mean? If I really took the reins and I really built what I wanted in life. And that's exactly what people are realizing through this corona epidemic. Sorry, I can't talk. Is because corona means crown, okay? This coronavirus is a lot of crown chakra upgrades we're getting right now. People don't realize that because we're going through a mass spiritual awakening worldwide. Everyone's waking up, whether they realize it or not. However, some of us who are already awakened are going to be like the way showers, the light bringers, the light workers who are showing everyone what to do when they wake up. Whereas the people who are going to be waking up soon are going to be like spiritual babies, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to be like, all right, here's what we're gonna do, here's how you meditate, here's how you do this, you know, and really show them the way. Here's how you heal these traumas so that you can overcome. Here's how you remember your past lives, all that good stuff. And that's so that they can really step forward into their path. And that's who we are as teachers. We are the original light workers, the people who are already awake. And there's so much about to happen in the world people don't even see coming after this coronavirus is done and over with.
Yeah, so you were saying about how you saw your sister and her brother or whatever had a car, whatever, and you were kind of getting jealous, and you remembered, nope, don't get jealous. Things will
Shift.
come for me in my divine time. I am
Mm-hmm.
I am so close to creating what I want to do for the rest of my life, which is traveling around the world, teaching and
Yes.
enlightening people with
Yes.
my
Yes.
story and how to enlighten themselves, right? So teaching
Absolutely.
spiritual awakening and enlightenment on stage. So the first stage is being hired by events companies to do a certain speech out of, say, six
Right.
speakers, right? The next stage is to save up all that money to hire my own venue and put on my own Talk with Oliver events. But it's interesting because I'm so close to getting it that you see somebody else sort of getting it and you do actually think like, fuck, you get jealous, envious, and then you have to revert back into yourself. Nope. Focus on your path. That will
Yes.
come. If you get
Yes.
angry, if you get jealous, you lower that vibration, and your vibration needs to be up here in order to get that. So get that out
Mm-hmm.
of your head. He's doing his own path. You're doing your own path. Do not get angry. Focus on you, and it will come when it's meant to be for you in divine timing. There's a
Yes.
process, there's a pattern. Like as I said, I've got to be hired by speakers in order to hire my own event because you need to have a base of fans who know about you to come and see you. You need money to buy your own events. I can't just magically get money and get people who know me. So me, one of my own events is that's in the future. Next stage is being hired. So quantum jumping is seeing, being hired and flowing out to countries and doing speeches about my story and enlightenment and
Yes.
self-mind and whatever. That has to happen. And if you don't have that vision, like if you don't have your vision to go Colorado, go to Las Vegas, open up your whatever, that is such a big plan. That could take 3 to 5 years, but it's constantly moving. Move to Colorado,
Yeah.
then I've got to get my license, which takes a year. Then I've got to do this. Then I've got to do that. Constantly focusing on the next step, but having 10 steps ahead. But you don't focus on those 10 steps. You focus on the next step, and then the 9 steps
Mm-hmm.
will happen as you go down that path. And that is so powerful because as animals, when the weather changes, we migrate, and then we stay when the temperature's perfect, and then when there's a storm, we keep migrating, and then we might be there for a
Right.
few weeks because it's nice and warm, and then we keep migrating. These days we stay put because we've got a nice warm house, a fucking Walmart providing food, and we think, okay, well, I'll just stay here forever. That's not how it works. Energy has to keep changing. Neighbors should never stay the same because nothing stays the same. You have to keep moving.
I'm sorry. Somebody was talking to me over there. I kind of missed the very end of that. I don't know. My neighbor, I'm like, shh, go away.
You Everything in nature keeps moving. Trees grow and then they die. Humans evolve and then they get depressed and then they die. So humans can't stay in the same place with other humans because if you're evolving at a different state to them, they're going to be pulling you back. So you have to evolve and keep moving to enlightened
Absolutely.
people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one thing, like very similar to you, is once I mean, either before I open this business or after, either way, I want to travel the world and teach people about enlightenment as well and help people heal people. I do want to have a shop where I can actually have a place people can go where they have that. Because when you walk into a crystal shop or a metaphysical shop, if it's a true, genuine, divine place, you know that shift in vibration where you feel like you're just getting the most incredible energetic hug by like all of the angels, you know? that's where I want to have a place for people to go to. And but I do still want to travel, teach, and write books and all of these good things. Back to what you said about the path. See, here's one thing I found so many people fail, even spiritual teachers and leaders fail at on their path, and that is exactly what we discussed, is watching someone else's path and saying, why can't I be there? And I did that in the beginning of my spiritual awakening, and I'm still not perfect. I have those moments where I'm like, dang it, I thought I would be doing this by now. But I've seen people literally destroy their own lives because they're so focused on either ruining someone else's life or focusing on someone else's life and not paying attention to their own, and watching all these opportunities pass them by because they're so focused on someone else's path. And that right there is the most powerful shift you could ever make in your life, is to truly, genuinely get out of jealousy, get out of envy, get out of why can't I have this? Why have I not achieved this? And get into everything takes one step at a time. Every journey begins with a single step, and then it's just one foot in front of the other until you reach your destination. And it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about everything you learn, everything that you experience on the way to the destination. And that's what so many people fail to see when they're too busy watching someone else's path, is they're not watching how they're about to walk off the edge of a cliff because they're not paying attention to where they're going.
Yeah,
or everyone else. Oh, so go ahead.
No. Yeah. You people see other people and they feel like, I want that, so they take it away. It's like when two dogs are eating their dinner and the other dog tries and takes the dog's food and the other dog pulls it back. It's like, you've got yours, fucking eat yours, leave mine alone, yeah? And that's when you get like, and the animal kingdom where there's a carcass and there's a big lion eating it. Another lion comes along, tries to have a bit, and that big lion gets vicious and like, growls at the other lion as if to say, this is mine, fucking get your own. And it's like, we have our own carcass. You don't need to eat mine. Go and find your own. Like, stop focusing on others and the things that
you have to
they
hunt for
have.
your own. You can't take it.
Yeah, that focusing on the things that they have that you want. Go and create your own. Like, there is a certain path that you have to go down in order to get that. That person hasn't just got that by chance. They've had to do certain things that you haven't seen. You've just seen them eating the carcass. You've not seen them dragging it across the kingdom to eat it. And you go along and say, why can't I have some? Like, give me some. That's not how it works. You have to take action. It's a long process. Like, to get to your stage and to get to my stage, we speak like we're so free and it's just been easy. It hasn't been easy for you nor me. I've been on a long 7-year journey. And even before that, since I was on like 15, I was questioning everything and like constantly questioning and taking action and realizing, why do things happen all the time? And having arguments with friends and then arguing and then realizing the next time, let it go. They're not going to understand, and then you feel at peace, and then you don't argue again, and then it's a long journey of undoing our parents' past. Like, our past
Ancestral
is our
patterns.
past. It's our parents' past. We're undoing all the shit that they taught us, thinking it was the right thing. We have to go back and undo that, and that takes a long time. Once you've done that, now you've got to focus on you and start again. So you've undid the past, which takes years. Now you've got to be like, right, what the fuck do I want to do? I want to be, I have a massage spa in Vegas. How do I get there? I've got to sell my house. That takes 3 years. I've got to get rid of my friends. I've got to sell this and do that. Then I've got to move. And then I've got to get a fucking therapy. That takes a long time. Right. And people get bored and they want it now. And so, as you said, they focus on the destination rather than the process of just enjoying that transition of freedom. Watch the plant grow. Enjoy that leaf open up and this flower open up. Don't just be like, come on, fucking flower, hurry up, and then go to the shop and buy a plant. Enjoy the process, because then when that plant flowers, it dies 5 days later.
Exactly. And if you do it the right way, instead of just seeding one plant in that instant gratification, you can seed an entire forest and watch 10 of Pentacles. You have money for generations. And the thing about that brings to my attention when you say that is we're here to break ancestral patterns, ancestral curses, okay? And I'm actually going to dip a little bit into talking about the black magic, because you reminded me that when you're talking about people trying to take other people's carcasses that they've earned, that they have created. And that's exactly how it is when people follow someone else's path or try to or they're jealous of it, envious of it. So they do things, different spells, because it's absolutely real. People can do spells to, mess with your looks. They can do spells to keep you from loving people from loving you. They can do spells to do death rituals. I literally had a death ritual on me. I had so many different things, and I've overcome it finally after a long time. And I almost lost the fight. I'm not going to lie, because I was vegan, and I really love being vegan because I love animals, right? Well, I had to quit being vegan for a while temporarily to regain my strength so that I could fight back with my own magic, because I only have white magic. I only use it to heal and for good. But I started doing reversal spells. And that's one thing I want to tell people. If you have somebody coming against you, even if it's just psychic attack, here's what you need to do. Take several deep breaths in. Nice deep breaths. And then breathe in and imagine the most gorgeous violet light, the violet flame. The most powerful thing in the entire universe is the violet flame. And it will transmute everything in your body, all darkness, all magic done, into love and purify it. So do that, imagine that, and once you've imagined that emanating from your heart space all the way through your body, and you've transmuted all of that negativity to love, put up a very powerful shield around each side of you, all four sides of you. And then once you feel nice and protected, of course, call upon Archangel Michael to protect you as well, to work with you and through you to put a very powerful protection shield around you. And then put up mirrors on the other side of your shield, each side. And here's the best part. For those of you who are sick and tired of people doing black magic on you, and you're like, I wish that your magic would just go back to you, here's how you do that. Once you put those mirrors up, you imagine them spinning around in circles as fast as they can go. And then you imagine people who are sending you that magic, sending it to you, hitting the mirrors and bouncing right back and hitting them. It's beautiful. It's karma at its best, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not dark whatsoever. I spoke with my guides about it because I was like, is that wrong to do reversal spells? And they're like, no, it's not wrong at all. If someone's sending that magic to you, they have to be prepared to pay the price if it gets sent back to them. And there's nothing wrong with protecting yourself. And that's something I want a lot of people know, is that you don't have to, especially empaths like to think, because people are, especially if it's like an empath and a narcissist, they think that they have to be drained of these energetic vampires, this psychic attack. There's nothing they can do. That's bullshit, because you can protect yourself. You are so much fucking stronger than you could ever believe. You've got this incredible power within you you've never even begun to tap into. And that's what so many people are learning right now, is that they truly are powerful, and that they aren't just a waste of space on this planet that they thought they were. That they are incarnated on this planet for a reason, because this is the Great Awakening. We are waking up to who we are as spiritual beings. And if they incarnated on this planet at this time, it's because they wanted to be a part of that incredible ascension. There's nothing as an accident. There is no such thing as coincidences in this lifetime, in any lifetime. And time is not linear. Time is an illusion. That's another thing that confuses the hell out of people. They're like, how is time, not linear? Well, time is dimensional, as most of us do know. And it's not past or future happening in the past or future. It's all happening at the same time. And that's where people really mess up when they go to live in the present, if they don't live in the present. Because if you're stuck in the past, you're stuck in an energy that doesn't exist anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you're stuck in the future, you're stuck in an energy that does not allow your life to flow so that it can become whatever. You're so stuck on one thing. And what people don't realize, also, when it comes to manifestation, they like to think, kind of like we were talking earlier, that they can sit on the couch and say, okay, I want this, this, and this. Okay, I'm going to use the moon to manifest a big house. I'm going to use the moon to manifest a great job. I'm going to use the moon to manifest the love of my life. But then they never get off the couch. They don't talk to anybody. They don't work. They don't do nothing. And the most important part of manifestation is anchoring it into the physical world. Yes, it's all great if you're Aquarius up there daydreaming, Seven of Cups. But if you don't anchor that down with the, say, Three of Pentacles, into a community, into a collaboration with others, then you cannot. I know I go with tarot with everything because I'm a tarot reader. But if you don't anchor that down, anchor those codes down, you can't go anywhere. You can't make anything happen. It'll only ever be a dream. It's about balancing spirituality and practicality. And so many people are finding this out now for the first time in their lives.
Yeah, so I'm an Aquarius, right? And I've always wanted to be a millionaire so I can have the life I want to live and also be able to do the things I want to do, like give back to people, like randomly pay for
Yes,
homeless people to live in a hotel for a week, pay for random people's food at a restaurant, just stuff like that, right? And
absolutely.
and I used to dream about all this stuff in my head, and it used to feel so real in my head. I didn't take any action. I was laying on my bed, as you said, the guy on the couch, visioning doing all this stuff, but I didn't need to do anything because I felt it in my head, that quantum jumping, and I didn't realize I have to take action to fucking jump. Like I have to take action, and I used to do that, and then I realized like I need to take action now, and then that's when things started to manifest. And growing up when I was younger, speaking about black magic stuff. I was bullied by these two
Hmm.
people, and I used to go home and say, "I hope you fucking die. I wish you would die. Like, I hope you get run over by a car because of what they would make me feel like." Now,
Right.
call it whatever. One of the guy's mum died, right? So you could say it's karma, whatever. You could say that person puts pain on me because of the pain he is feeling. So that's also true. But this thing about giving it back, empath. So when I was enlightened at 21, I saw everyone's pain. So I just accepted the fact that people on the road raging at me, I just let it happen to me. If somebody was angry in the supermarket, treating me like shit in the restaurant I was in, I would just take it. But I would boil up inside. And I heard this thing
Yeah.
about how you're the enlightened being, you need to understand their pain, absorb it. And I realized something. I'm absorbing that energy. That's not going anywhere. That's staying in me. And I realized, is it wrong to give it back? Is it wrong to give it back to them when you know they're in pain and you don't want it to keep coming back? Because the whole point is you let it go and you move towns rather than sort of just keep arguing with the same people.
Right.
As you said, I realized that you're not putting it out, you're giving it back. It was already there. It's almost like, and I had to visualize this in my head to understand. If somebody gives you a bowl of cancer, you don't want that cancer on you, so you're giving it back. And if somebody's saying something to you like angry or whatever, you shouldn't be doing like that, you can't just go, okay, or even apologize because you're accepting that you've done something wrong and you haven't. You have to give it back.
Right.
Say, listen, mate, you were there. That is why I did that. Don't purposely get more angry. Don't punch him in the face. Don't purposely start an argument. You're playing table tennis. He hits the ball to you,
Hmm.
hit it back. If he says, like for example, I used to work in a restaurant and you get rude customers saying you should be more like this. Don't just be like, oh, I'm really sorry, madam. We'll give you some free chips. Say to them, actually, you came in late and that's why that happened. So I just served back. I didn't elaborate. I didn't do it more. I just served back. So now they'd be like, oh, actually, he's right. Or they might be like, no, because of this, this, and this. Again, you've given me the bowl of cancer. I don't want this. I've got to give it back. You're neutralizing a negative. So you're not being more negative. You're neutralizing that negative back to where it came from. And that I
Absolutely.
realise is crucial because it does affect you if you just become the empath and you absorb everyone's bullshit and it does make you
Yeah.
angry and all of a sudden you will
Hmm.
blow. You will fucking rage. So you have to give it back and then just let
Cut
it go.
cords. You have to cut cords, definitely conscious cords and soul and heart cords from anyone who doesn't, who's not for your highest and greatest good anymore, because we do resonate. We like our frequency will grow and we will no longer resonate with people we used to resonate with. So we need to know when we have to cut those cords. That's a very important part of our journey, to call back those soul pieces that we have given away or were taken as well. And the thing about that is I see that in two different ways. Yes, I see one, the way you were explaining it, where you give it back. But there is another option if you are a more empowered empath. You have to be truly empowered to be able to do this one. And that is transmuting it, to purposely and consciously say, I know they're giving me this anger, but I'm going to send it back. But instead of sending back the same anger, and not even like, even if you're just sending it back in an angry way, but just say, no, you keep your shit. I don't want it. But saying, I'm going to send back this anger transmuted into love now. And that's hard to do, especially when people are real assholes. But if you truly, and not every reading, sorry, someone just said something about a reading. And not every situation will you be able to do that. But if you can, that right there will also help you quantumly jump from emotional levels and spiritual levels and different stages of your awakening. It will help you to jump. Instead of taking, say, 7 years, it could make your journey only take you 3 years. Because if you say, for example, only send back that anger, you didn't truly transmute it so that energy still exists. Well, for example, if you do transmute it, you clear past karma for yourself. For example, when I saved my sister's boyfriend's life, I cleared past karma for myself in a past life when I took my own life because I was very unhappy. And a life is a life, even if it's your own life. So in saving his life, I cleared that past life karma. So it's kind of the same thing, but in a smaller scale. If you were to transmute that to love, you will clear that past life karma where you may have been a really angry person and you were very angry to other people and you hurt them. And instead of that person going on to be an angry person, now that person's going to go on to live more lovingly towards people because you transmuted that anger to love for them, which is what we do as healers and as empaths if we know how to control it and not let it control us, which is the difference between an empowered empath and a disempowered empath.
Yes, what I will say is that when I was enlightened, I forgave everyone in the past. And as you said, I counteracted negative energy with positive energy.
Absolutely.
Like I was that enlightened being where rather than
Yes.
giving it back because I didn't want it, I absorbed it, but then gave it back in the positive way. But then I
Good, fantastic.
realized I'm still around negative people, and there's going to become a time where I'm going to be giving back positive energy to so many people that it's going to be unnecessary. So I decided just to move, change, like as you said, go from your town in Hawaii
Boundaries.
to Colorado, so I don't have to deal with it. So I'm just pure positive all the time. And then I worked in a restaurant because I had no income because I shut my business down, and I was around negative customers. So I became them, and I suddenly had to become aware this wasn't what I learned, say, 4 years ago, because I was enlightened. I went back to the normal job industry, which I'd never done before, because I had no choice. When most people, they come from that job industry and they create their own business. I did the opposite. I was enlightened and I went back to hell. And then there's so much toxic around that you can't counteract all that positive energy because they're just so negatively charged that you're wasting your own energy counteracting it all the time. So that's when
Yes,
I
that's a
started to
different
just,
story.
rather than purposely be negative, I just gave it back. But I wasn't positive because I was using my own energy. And now I've left that place. Now, if I was in a public place outside, if somebody was negative, I would be nice over the negative. But it's interesting.
Yes.
I'm so
Yes.
positive that it feels like I'm being patronizing. What I mean by that is if somebody says, my
You're
meal is disgusting. No, hang on a sec, that's a bad example. If somebody says, watch where you're going, I wouldn't respond to it, but then in, say, 10 minutes' time, I would go and give them a bag of crisps or a bar of chocolate, or I'd purposely sit down next to them on a bench and I'd say, try one of these sweets. So I didn't respond negative or positive in that moment. I let it go. And then 5 minutes later, I purposely went up to them and I said, here, would you like some of my sweets? Here, I've got £5 in my pocket. You can have it. So they're not expecting it. I didn't respond. I paused. I came back from the future into the present, gave them a positive thing and counteracted it. But because I'm so positive, I feel like I'm being patronizing. It's almost like when you're in a restaurant and they say, my chips are cold. Oh, I'm really, really sorry about that. I shall go get you some more chips and a free cheesecake. I feel like it's patronizing. But I suppose it can't be patronizing because you can't be too positive to a negative person. You know what I mean? It's like
well,
it's
to a negative person, you can be too positive is a thing.
so it
And
can
that's
patronize.
it's yeah, well, to only to negative people. I've actually been told many times that my positivity causes people hate.
But I understand that. But I do.
And it's because they're reflecting. See, we as empaths are mirrors, okay? People see we trigger them and they see all their dark sides in us. And that we don't have to do anything dark. All we have to do is not accept their darkness when they're coming against us, and they have no choice but to deal with it. Now, for example, if someone comes up to you and says, you're a crazy bitch, I don't believe anything you're talking about, blah, 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 and you come against them and you say, I think you're the one that's crazy and blah, 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 right? All you're doing is justifying their actions. Now, if you say, I'm sorry you feel that way, one day you're going to be more enlightened and you're going to understand that I'm not crazy, then they're going to have to sit down and go, damn, hold on a minute. This person didn't come back against me. They simply, out of love, told me, that they're sorry that I didn't, I didn't understand that at this time. And then they have to really go within and go, wait a minute, maybe this is true. Maybe this is real. So instead of turning someone off of spirituality, saying, see, I told you that this person was fake. If you be truly authentic, you're going to make people go, oh, wow, this is real, and this really is happening, and this is a thing that's really going on. We are all having spiritual awakenings, whether we know it or not, whether we've had unconscious spiritual awakenings or we've had conscious ones like me and you. We are all waking up nonetheless.
See, that's interesting because I know that I don't want to be negative to a person who's unhappy. Like it's their own problem and they're just speaking their own thoughts to me. It's my job as a smart person to understand that and not get angry too. At the same time, I don't want to make a situation worse by being like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. When you're awakening, you'll see. Because I feel like I'm the one who's lucky enough to be enlightened. You're probably never going to get to my level. I don't want to expose you to something like that because it's not going to help you. It's almost like I say, holding a keys to a Ferrari in front of a homeless guy's face, and he's like, I'm never going to get that. So it's like, I know that people will replay back things that they heard during the day. If you were like, fuck you, it's your problem, they'll be playing back that at home and they'll get angry and be like, fuck her. If you say to you, oh, I'm really sorry about that, one day you'll understand when you're enlightened, that will play on their minds. And they will be thinking, what did she mean by that? It could go two ways. They could be like,
it would be a lot more explained. Obviously, you'd have more of a conversation with them than what I'm just, but I can kind of explain it to you a little differently because you understand what it means to be enlightened, just for the sake of, making the example. But it doesn't have to be even specifically that. It can be something just where you're like, you just kill them with kindness kind of thing. And again, you can't always do that. Like you said, if it's wasting your energy and if it's dragging you down, it's not worth it. That's when you have to really set in those boundaries. You have to understand spiritual and physical boundaries when it comes to other beings, because there are a lot of energy vampires, whether we like it or not, whether we like to believe it exists or not. It does, absolutely. And we just have to know how to protect ourselves and know we have to use our discernment and know who we need to talk to about spiritual things at the right time. Do I need to tell this person who I see is just unawakened, but they're really a true spiritual being, they're a really beautiful soul, but they're just not awake yet and they don't understand what they're saying? That's somebody I would say that to. If it was someone who came against me who I could tell is like a karmic or has a dark soul, I wouldn't say that to them. I would just, simply boundaries, cut them off. Or if I said anything at all, it would just be like, something small, but not mean, but not nice either, just something kind of neutral. So it really depends. Every situation's different.
so you're saying that, for example, you can't just counteract every negative with a positive and be like, oh, I'm really sorry you feel like that, because you've got to
No,
understand
not
the more
everyone.
negative they are, the less they understand, the more they're gonna take you what you said as a patronizing statement. Then they're gonna charge back at you and be like, don't be patronizing with me. Who do you think you are? Now they're putting more energy on you to the point where you can only walk away. So you have to read somebody's energy, knowing that
Absolutely.
when you say something to them, is it going to trigger something and take them forward into enlightenment? Is it going to make them even more angry, or they're going to spew more hate on you, black magic? Wish yeah, it's true. You have to judge somebody first, because you do yourself disjustice by always counteracting a positive with the negative. Sometimes you just have to walk away. It's true.
Absolutely, yes. And that's the biggest thing. All I can hear is strong in my head. My spirit guides are yelling, discernment, discernment. And that's the biggest thing. And that's probably the hardest thing also in a spiritual awakening is discernment. What information am I allowed to give to the public? What information am I allowed to give to, so-and-so who needs help here? Because especially until you're fully awakened, you don't have like a guidelines of, okay, you can say this, this, and this, and this. You get all this information from your spirit guides, and you're supposed to try to discern what you can and can't tell people, because you don't want to tell them too much and then affect their life. Because if you tell them certain things, they won't learn certain lessons they needed to learn. You know what I mean? If you tell them, oh, you're not supposed to be with this guy, you're supposed to be with this guy over here, and that's true. Say like this is a twin flame situation. And this is one thing I won't tell people when I help my twin flames out there. I won't say, okay, you're not supposed to be with this guy. You're supposed to be with, this guy. He's your real twin flame, because that's a terrible thing to do, because they have to learn those karmic lessons. So you say, okay, I can't tell you who this is, but here's what we're going to do. Let's look at all the attributes from this person, how they've treated you, this person, how they've treated you. Does this person seem divine to you? Does this everything add up to you? Are they treating you well? Are they acting out of their divinity? If they're not acting out of their divinity, they're probably not divine. You know what I mean? At this point in time, I'm not saying always, but at this point in time in the awakening, the way that all the divine masculines have waken up and have really stepped forward, the way the divine feminines have really waken up and stepped forward, if you aren't acting out of your divinity at this time, you're probably not very divine, is what I'm saying.
It's so true. It's almost like me going on stage and telling everyone the enlightenment journey based on what they will go through, and I can tell them the main stepping stones they need to do, but they have to go through them themselves. They have to learn the lessons along the way. It's not just about getting to each stepping stone. It's learning the lessons so you don't make the same mistake twice moving forward. So I can't drag you along these stepping stones because you've got to understand how that will affect this if you don't do that. That's why it's hard being enlightened and you want to help everyone. You can't help everyone.
Yeah.
You can be one stepping stone. You can't be all of them. Like if I'm speaking on stage for say 6 hours, you're still going to be on that same stepping stone. I'm still going to get you to that next stepping stone. You might know the stepping stones to go down, but I'm no different to learning those stepping stones from another teacher or mentor or the own voice in your head. So you can only be that stepping stone. And if anything, the more energy and the knowledge you give on a speech can only charge them more to go down and keep going down. You can't go any quicker, but you can give them more in power to keep going. And that's what I've realized, that you can't teach people and help people. You can't tell them that twin flame is supposed to be yours and he's going to be abusive and you can't even see it because you can't tell them that because it's not fair telling somebody something that they probably know is true that they don't want to hear, and then they hear you saying that's going to happen and they know you're right, but then and you can't, it's not fair. Like, we're the lucky ones who are enlightened, and even if you can help them, they have to learn their own karmic lessons. It's going up the frequencies of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it can only be done itself.
It's all the Three of Swords. It's all the heartache. It's all the grief. It's all the pain. It's all the loss. It's all the sadness that pushes us into our next level, our next journey. We're part of our journey in our spiritual awakening. It's every time we go through a dark night of the soul, we emerge from the cocoon transformed into a much more beautiful butterfly than we ever were before we entered into it. That's what's happening. A lot of the times people don't realize that what we call the void, which is the void, the dark night of the soul, it's all the kind of the same thing, where you go into the darkness and you don't come out until you've reached a certain enlightenment. And we have many of these in our path, where things go really bad. You might literally physically lose people to death. Things just start happening real bad for you in your life. Money's bad, all of this is bad. And as long as you keep the faith and you keep moving on and you keep on your path and you keep going no matter what, as long as your faith is more than your fear, then yes, absolutely, it will push you to higher levels of consciousness and to more enlightenment. But if you don't go through that pain, that trauma, that heartbreak, you're never going to get that enlightenment that you would have gotten. And you may get it in a different way, but it's not going to be as powerful, as transforming as it would if you came to that realization on your very own at a deep soul level, after you had to do nothing but go within and do that soul searching on your own, because you don't have a choice at this point. You have to be able to make sense of life again, because everything is so torn down and traumatizing at this moment. And that's exactly what trauma's for. Trauma's all about pushing you into the light, because out of the darkness comes the light. And that's what we are. We are lights in the darkness. And the brighter the light, the darker the everything around it's going to be, the more the shadows, right? And we are very bright lights. And that's what a lot of us are finally realizing, is we are very bright lights. But unfortunately, to be a bright light, we have to go through this really dark time. But it only makes us brighter.
Yeah, that's the thing. People think that their dark times are just, that's just their life. Like, that's just my life. It's always been like that. And they just accept it. They don't realize that we have choices.
Change your mindset.
You can use these traumatic times and low times as a way to get yourself out of them. Everything that happens will either happen again or it won't. And you can choose whether it does or not. If somebody, for example, a boyfriend keeps hitting you, dump him and find another one. It is as simple as that. Obviously, it's a long process to get out of that pattern, but that decision is as simple as, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. How am I going to get out? If you keep going through the pain,
Mm-hmm.
you will realize that I don't want to be in pain anymore, and you will not be in pain. And I call it the jacket
Yes.
scenario, which is, if you always know your friend is going to give you his jacket when it's freezing cold, you're not going to remember to bring your own. You've got to not
Yep.
rely on your friend. You've got to go out, freeze your bollocks off, so you remember to bring a jacket next time, rather than just relying on your
Yeah.
mate to give you his jacket. We have to feel the pain in order to take action and not make a mistake again. That's why the karmic process is such a long journey, because it's people just do things over and over and over and over again as if it's part of life. And they
But it
could have
doesn't
been
have to
allowing those
be.
things to occur for so long that now they become aware that they don't have to occur again. Now, every time they come back, because it always will, they have to just put a system in place where it doesn't. Like if the weeds keep growing outside, put weed killer down. If somebody keeps parking on your grass and it keeps fucking up the lawn, put a sign there. That takes time, but yes, you always get out to the light, but you have to feel the pain. For me,
Oh,
it was
definitely.
forever. All my karmic. It was like, when is it going to end? And it just ended.
Well, karma, see, the things about karma is people think karma is a punishment, but karma is genuinely not a punishment. It's just a series of lessons, and you have to go through the same lesson over and over in different forms until you finally learn the damn lesson. And that's kind of what the universe does. Actually, it's exactly what the universe does, is at the point where you said, okay, I've learned my lesson on this, the universe is going to throw you that same situation and say, all right, let's see how stupid you are this time. Let's see if you finally learn this lesson. And if you do overcome it, then you level up. And that's exactly what everything is in life. You'll see, if you actually pay attention, you're being tested by the universe like every minute of every day. How do you act towards certain people that act towards you? How do you act towards yourself? Do you truly love yourself at the end of the day? Do you look in the mirror? Are you wearing a mask? Are you being authentic? Who are you at a soul level? Do you know? And that right there is what the universe is constantly asking us. Do you know who you are? Do you know how powerful you are? Do you know how special you are? Do you know how loved you are? Do you love yourself? And I feel like once we really look in the mirror and start asking ourselves these questions, that's when we can really open up a whole new world of healing that we never could have imagined before.
Yeah, yeah, hitting every nail on the head. Truly amazing. Yeah, this is kind of like a perfect high to like end it on. Like, do you want to speak about anything else before we
I
end
honestly,
it?
I said everything. That was pretty amazing. I got a lot of information out there, so I'm very proud of that. There's definitely a lot going on people don't see behind the scenes. But yes, there is darkness, but you have to remember there's the opposite frequency. Even though there's darkness, there's a beautiful light. And it's only about focusing on that light and not focusing on that darkness to push yourself out. Also, if you don't work with the moon or candle magic, that's something very powerful to work with, to set intentions with. That, and like learning more about astrology and how your astrological chart affects you, different placements you have. If you don't know that, that's something people should really look into to understand, because it will tell you who you are. All of your planets make up who your personality is, which house they're in. So, me, I'm a Virgo sun, so I'm very grounded. I'm very, I like to plan. I'm very perfectionist, but I'm a Sagittarius rising. So people meet me, I'm very inspiring. I'm very philosophical. I'm very adventurous. I like to travel, so it's not just one part. A lot of people think, oh, for example, he's a Scorpio, so he's, probably not a very good guy or whatever, because people like to bash on Scorpios, which I used to myself. I'm not gonna lie, I don't anymore. I also found out in my sidereal chart, which is like tropical versus Western, it is I'm a Scorpio rising, so Sag and Scorpio rising. So the Scorpio full moon is going to be really powerful for a lot of people. Just putting that out there too. But yeah, it's all about finding who you are in any way, shape, or form. You have to do that. Any kind of information you need to seek out, whether on the internet or whether in soul searching, to find yourself.
Okay. Shall we? Oh, first, before I end it, do you want to plug any websites, social medias, or anything?
Yeah. So I have Awakened Earth Goddess, which is my Facebook page. Definitely come check me out there. I have my YouTube channel, which is also Awaken Earth Goddess, and I have my webpage, which is also Awaken Earth Goddess. Can I link them here, or is that cool?
Yeah. Give me the links afterwards. But yeah, okay.
Awesome, cool. So he'll link this for you guys. Definitely come check me out. Anyone who hits me up, let me know if you've watched this, and I'll offer you a discount on a reading for checking out the podcast and coming and join us today. So yeah, I love you all so much, and I wish you all the best. Love, blessings, and namaste.
Okay, I'm just going to press stop. Wait there, and I'll say goodbye.